For those of you who normally take a front seat, bad idea. The great thing is the whip will never leave my hand, and all of my shows are in 3D and high definition. And if you don't believe that, let me welcome up my beautiful wife and assistant, Barbara. She actually gets the 3D pretty closely. But she's going to give me a hand today, and hopefully we're going to talk a little bit about how the whip works in the movies and everything. We're going to do a little bit of that as we go. And I can tell you that forgiveness is foremost on my mind if things go bad. It's a long ride home. So, Barbara, if you wouldn't mind. No, I need that. Thank you. Now, when you first learn to use a whip, strangely enough, people want to see you break things. We are a weird society. But the first thing out of your mouth is, I would like you to hold this, and people go running the other way. So you have to learn to do it yourself. And we'll do one more this way. Now I have to watch that because the hats are expensive. So you need to be very careful with that. But just to show that you don't really need to see what you're doing, Barbara's going to bring me this nice blindfold. And I don't have my glasses on, which, did you notice I'm not wearing my glasses?
I did notice.
Okay, she's a little worried now. But most of the time I can just take my glasses off and achieve the same thing. We'll do this here. And for those of you that know, this is not a fake blindfold, it's actual just fabric. So would you like to take this? Just in case. Here we go. What are you guys worried about? You still worried in the front row down here? Okay, here we go. Thank you. Now, when you get a little bit better, eventually someone will hold something for you. But I need the other whip, don't I? Yes. In the movies, you always see Indiana Jones grab the bad guy. They take the gun away, they do all those great things that make him look so cool with the whip. Now you notice the whips I use vary in length, they're all kind of neat looking, but this one is especially long. Now this group is worried. But what we're going to do is show you how you bring the whip around the body without actually doing any damage. And trust me, you don't want to do any damage. So if you would. All set? We'll do that one again. There we go. Oh, just wait, we're not even close to done. Now you can clap. There you go. So eventually, someone will jump up there and hold a target for you. Hey, you know what? Let's just change it up a little bit. You got the black one of these over there? Let's add that double routine. Now, I've been on shows like America's Got Talent and Steve Harvey's Big Time, and the one thing they always want to see me do is blow candles out. And I'm going to do that for you here in a minute. But they want me to do it with two whips at the same time. This is something you'll never see in an Indiana Jones movie. Why? Because he can't really do this. I may have the outfit, but I also got the whip skill. Here we go. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, now I need a nap. The whip is moving at more than 780 miles an hour when you hear that sound. It can cut skin, it can break bones. It makes a pretty lousy weapon. But one of the things that we always tend to do is something called a newspaper cut. This is what a lot of people expect to see in a show like this. Let's put you kind of right in the middle so everybody can see. And we're just going to go right down the center of this newspaper if all goes well. There you go. And as you get going, your targets become a little more elaborate. How about coming out here? These are playing cards. There's nothing trick about these. And you may have noticed I changed whips again. This is a whip that I designed very specifically to be as precise as humanly possible. Plus, the white color makes it really easy to see. And I should point out that she was actually holding the card so that I could see the numbers, because what I target off of is the corner number. Now, if you can imagine, I can only see about 4 feet without my glasses on. These are really big letters. All right, now the next thing that we're going to do is something called a candle snuff. This is pretty common in whip work. It's what a lot of people like seeing, and maybe we'll see how it goes here. We might do it a couple of different directions so you guys can get a good look at it. But it happens very, very fast. So we're going to use the shorter whip here just to make it easier to do. She usually gets annoyed because while she's lighting them, I'm putting them out. So that kind of ruins everything, but we'll see how it goes here. Everyone hold your breath. That'll do with that. Now, what's interesting about the whip is it actually does have a lot of cool properties like you see in the movies. The next thing I was going to do got cut from the show. And you see this great chandelier right here? Yeah, you're already seeing where I'm going with that, aren't you? You pull this big one off and you grab that. Actually, you can't really do that. It looks great in the movies, but what happens is the whip will either break or you'll find yourself down there, which also has comedic value. Not to me, but it makes it a little bit more difficult. Now, the one thing they always want to see you do with a whip is cut a cigarette out of someone's mouth. We use the flowers. Cigarettes are kind of gross. So we're going to do it kind of this way, so you get a little idea. Actually, you know what? Stand right there. And I'm going to back up this way, so we got it sort of an angle shot here. And I know they're videotaping some of this today, so make sure it looks good. But you take the idea just to get the flower right off the side. Now realize the stem of that flower is about 5 inches long, and the whip I'm using is close to 9 feet. Remember what I said about 3D and high definition? Do you believe it now? Yeah. Okay. Best place is right up front. So now, we have one more really cool thing to do for you, but in order to do this particular piece, I need some help from the audience. So I've already pre-selected someone to give us a hand with this. Chad, could you come up here? Give him a nice round of applause, everybody. Good to see you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Now, I'll tell you what. Have we ever done this before?
No,
we absolutely have not.
This morning I was doing this.
That's right. He found out this morning, and he also found out that I wasn't going to tell him what we were going to do ahead of time.
That is true.
So that was fun. I'm going to have you switch sides with me. Come right over there. Let me have that.
You would maybe stand right where I am.
Okay.
Now, you saw the newspaper split we did a little while ago.
I did.
We're going to do this a little bit differently. I'm going to take this paper and just fold it like this. Actually, this is the hard part.
Do we have a longer one?
Are you saying you want him to use the longer whip?
The longer whip?
No, not the longer. No,
I should point out that the whip, actually, the longer the whip becomes, the more ineffective it is. That is to say, it's not
short
as,
is good then.
It's not as precise, yeah. So you want to go for that short whip whenever you can. But as you can see, this is kind of the difficult part, which is just getting this paper to fold properly. Because you have to do this a certain way. Anybody ever make paper dolls before? You know, you have to cut it a certain way after you've folded it. Well, this is kind of the same way. What I'm going to have you do is stand just like this and hold it out just like that, like you saw the flower. Now, a little closer.
Okay.
Look, a little closer.
Exactly.
Let me have this.
You want to put it in your mouth.
All right. How?
I think we need a blindfold.
Somebody
Yeah?
needs a blindfold. Me.
Can I have a blindfold, Barb? It's a cigarette and a blindfold, right? Isn't that what you're supposed to do? You can take that off him. He doesn't need that.
I appreciate that.
Actually, I'm going to have you move down
I close
just a
my
little
eyes,
bit.
though?
So
Would that be-
no, right there, right there.
All right.
So, because we're going to use a bigger whip, so we need a lot more space because Doug's looking a little scared back there. Here we go, like that. No, that's entirely too big.
We could swap if Doug wants to do it. I'm willing to share the stage.
No, actually, what I think, Barbara, would you come over here for a minute? Hold on to this, and I'm gonna try this again. Oh, wait a minute, that's not gonna work.
Let's hope he doesn't have me do the trick.
Yeah.
Make sure I've got this hidden away because I don't want him to see it yet.
Any hints would be appreciated, actually.
Okay, now we're ready.
Okay.
Hold that very tightly.
I will hold it tightly.
Oh, wait, give me that. You thought he was going to get away without this, didn't you? Now, it's very important. Now, don't upstage me here. Okay. Now, it's very important that you don't move because, I've sort of got this all laid out.
I'm with you.
And when you had this on, you could really figure out, you can't see through this thing.
Oh, I know.
No, it's not a fake or anything, so let's see.
Is this a week on prayer or forgiveness?
You better have both. That ain't gonna work. All right, one more time. I know what's wrong. Okay, here's what I need you to do. I need you to raise this foot and then take your left hand, put it on top of your head.
All right, it's good stuff.
This has nothing to do with this show, but it's fun to make people do that. I tell you what, I clipped it a couple of times here, but I don't think I got it quite right. We're kind of at the end of the show, so I tell you what, unfold it, and I'll just have you hold it like Barbara was holding it. We'll get through the rest of it. Have you had a good time with this?
Good answer. All right.
Yeah? I want to thank everybody at Horizons who brought us. What did you do to my newspaper? Well, I found the Ark of the Covenant. Ladies and gentlemen, give Chad a nice round of applause.
Thank you.
Thank you. My wife, Barbara. My name's Gery Deere. Thank you very much.